Well, we'll see how both of these two teams do here. I believe they are the number 2 and number 3, or the 3 and 4 seeds, respectfully. So Gamers Unite number 3, 2MB number 4 there. And they came from the bracket. 2MB were 4th with a 3-1 record, I believe, looking at it here. And then the other side, or 4-1, excuse me. And then 2MB were 5-1, so they did pretty decent after getting that victory. So both these teams pretty evenly matched. Could have seen them on either side of the brackets. It just came down to some tiebreakers, strength of schedule, things of that sort. But Leon, you expect him to be the striker, picking up the Juliet. That is the staple. Drakkar for Treddy. They're going to be that midfielder. And then a Dubu hovered for Yeesh. I like to see it. Dubu goalie is always a fun one, but it's probably not going to actually be it. You see the Kai coming out instead.
Yeah, interestingly, we see, Kai. Yeah, it's going to be Kai goalie, which means we're going to be seeing Lumost go back to that Amy kind of midfielder situation that we've seen a couple of times throughout the tournament. Amy has kind of been flexed around throughout the day as being either a goalie or being that midfielder. But as we head on tonight, we have that speed boost coming on in the center. It'll definitely allow Snake and Leon to just start rolling throughout the field and start just being super aggressive against the goalies.
That it will, and I'm interested to see what the opening awakenings are so that we can know why they might have gone for these comps, why they might have gone for the bans that we saw as well. And Lumos picking up the IME for the side of Gamers Unite is pretty interesting to see too, because I think we had the side switched before and now it's another direction. We'll fix that on our end in just a bit, but still Yeesh with the Dubu, Treddy with the Drakkar, and Leon looking to do what they can here too.
Yeah, Slop is in a little bit of danger here, being the first one with the open goal, but nicely done from Lumos to be able to open up that second goal barrier. Now you have to do what you can to get rid of this attack. A nice core flip from Slop to counter the core flip is going to put the pressure back onto Yeesh, who uses all of the Dubu cooldowns, and Snake just rushes in, gets past it. First goal of the set goes the way of 2MB.
Technically, it's Gamers Unite. We have the overlay messed up here for a sec, so sorry about that. We'll get it fixed as quickly as we can. There we go. Thank you, lovely producer Kaz. But the first goal barrier does go down. The core flip denied by Yeesh, who's doing pretty well on this Dubu. And we talked about that Dubu hover. We did have the side switch for a second, so I do like seeing the Dubu come out. They seem to be on skate, so I'm assuming that's Glass Cannon or one of the other abilities that our Awakenings are able to be chosen at the beginning are there for them to use. So we'll see after the next goal what that Awakening might be. But KO's going off the side. Lumo's going to be denied. And we do see Yeesh waste their core flip a little bit early.
Yeah, so now Yeesh has got to be very careful about when you use that Bamboozle, when you use that Tofu Fortress. But Slop is under so much pressure from Treddy and Leon, and there's only so many times you can save it in a row before you just don't have that strike off cooldown. So 1-1 now between the two squads. A really nice aggressive attack from the strikers of 2MB.
Great attack so far between these teams. Leon with the core flip as well to get both goal barriers down for free. You see happen a lot of times on Night Market. If you hit that sweet spot in the center of both goal barriers, as you can see, the little triangle, then you're able to get both of them down. And the turrets from Lumost helping a little bit, but not doing too much work. Snake doing a lot of work, but could not get that second goal barrier. They desperately needed it, and Yeesh somehow keeps it away.
Yeah, Lumos under a lot of pressure immediately, has to kind of back up with the stagger, and Leon might be searching for that knockup, but no, seems to be very preoccupied with Snake, who has that core flip available and is zooming around the map, is doing a really great job right now of making sure you pick up those mid-speed boosts. Turret used from Lumos to put pressure onto that one remaining goal barrier on the field, but Yeesh plays forward and is going to capitalize on it. A risky strategy from Yeesh leaving the goal, but it works out.
Great work being done so far by the side of 2MB to get the lead on their end, but they need more than just that one goal. They need one further to get these openings set into their favor, and they do get that opening goal barrier. Great summer assault from Yeesh, but they can't save the second barrier from Snake, who is looking pretty dangerous. Pretty solid, you could say, if you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid. But there goes down that last gold barrier, and now it's a wide open opportunity. The turret's going to help a bit, but the Tofu Fortress did deny some access.
Indeed it did. Yeesh is actually under a lot of pressure from Snake, and as you were trying to go elusive to avoid those the flaming fury, Yeesh just gets destroyed, and that is what the Juliet can do. It's so good at just being able to distract the goalie, get up into their face, and make them lose sight of the core for just a second.
Still 2-2 between these two teams. Less than 14 seconds already into this goal-scoring opportunity, and a goal barrier down a piece. Still looks in the favor of Gamers Unite, who are looking pretty solid so far, and they've had some solid rosters for .slop throughout all these Primetime Tuesdays, typically making it into the top 4, so they're looking to make a run back into those finals, but Treddy trying to make a case for 2MB to be there instead, and Leon, he's also been trying out a bunch of different rosters, and this looks like to be the best one so far.
Yeah, Leon has always been known for being a very prolific brawler player himself, but has been kind of going around throughout a bunch of different types of teams, a bunch of different players. This might be the 3 that you want to go with, though, because Treddy and Yeesh are doing a great job of being able to set Leon up for success. 2MB take set number 1. And let's see what we have here for, first of all, Yeesh on here. What are you going to choose for your awakening? You go for the specialized training.
Okay, yeah, that's going to help a little bit with that Tofu Fortress. Not doing too much to get it at the start. If there was a different specialized awakening for them, that would have been better for extra special. But you see Tempo Swing for both Juliets. That's par for the course. Castle Ass for the Drakkar helps with that Molten Bolt for the debuff. And also helps a little bit, too, for their speed. And you can see speed's the name of the game for Treddy. So now we get to see the opening awakenings, and Fire Up was one available for everyone. And, of course, they're going to take that. So they have so much more energy shared across the board.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to see. And every time that core flip is used, expect everyone to just be zooming around the map. So definitely something to be keeping an eye out, especially because players like Lumost and Yeesh and Treddy are coming up very close to their core flips already if they aren't forced to use that energy. And that is a kill probably from Leon onto Snake. And here is an advantage, but Yeesh lets the core get past him. Really lucky not to lose the goal barrier there.
And then there's still one goal barrier remaining on the side of 2MB. Finally, it does go down. The core flip having to be delayed from Lumos so that they could avoid the rollout. And instead, somehow Snake almost able to use the Tofu Fortress to their advantage to bank it off the back of it and get that goal. But Yeesh has been on lock for almost every opportunity that Gamers Unite have had for these goals. And a great read from Slop.
Yeah, and here come the core flips back and forth, 3 in a row. And Treddy is going to find the angle necessary. You can see now that we have the fired ups as the core flips came back. Everyone just started moving like 50% faster. That is going to be scary, especially when we get a train of core flips going back and forth like that.
Ooh, Yeesh just patiently waiting here. Treddy getting bullied by Lumos a little bit, but they can't really do too much damage. Really just having to be a nuisance, and Treddy can go so fast, especially if they use that Xeno Cloak. Just going for all the core strikes and trying to do anything that they can to get this past Slop, but really just taking all the stagger damage from Snake, and eventually they were going to get KO'd. Having to use the core flip was Yeesh to get that one away, and I'm liking the reads from the players of 2MB, but still being down one, it doesn't feel like they're down too much.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a player like Leon on the field who's so experienced and so prolific, you're able to get a lot of value even when you are down a player. Even right now, positioning yourself very well at the top of the screen, setting yourself up for an attack. But Slop, you cannot underestimate this goalie. Has the core field available if necessary, but has done a very good job of protecting that goal barrier. Yeesh, again, gets a little bit lucky there, letting the core get past them, but gets the save just before that goal barrier goes away. The turret puts on the pressure, but Lumost is going to do more. That goal barrier is down. The goal is open now from both sides.
Now this is the perfect time to strike for Snake, Slop, and Lumost. If they can get this, great dribbling happening, but the Summer Assault delaying things enough and stunning Snake so that they can't get that final strike and get that goal through to tie things up in set number 2. And just as close as we saw the last set and the last game, this is why we like to see the playoff brackets here, because Swiss, it's hit or miss. Now we get to see the actual bracket strategy come out for these teams. They know that they're so close to making into that money. Again, top 2 get paid out in this event.
Not to mention the fact that now that we're at Primetime Tuesday number 5, these players have been playing in this tournament pool for a while. And now that we've had about a month of experience, you get to a feel for how these players play, the kinds of comps they specialize in, which makes that ban phase even more interesting. So you have a lot more information to work with than you did a month ago, and these teams are using that to the fullest. A nice cyber swipe from Lumost is going to lead into the power play goal for Gamers Unite. That was a lengthy rally from both sides, but Gamers Unite tie it up.
Great tie-up from Gamers Unite, and as you can see, the way the Awakenings draft have gone, I mean, so many core flips that happen because of all that energy that is being used and expended, and as you expend one, it helps speed boost your teammates up by 40%, I'm pretty sure. So that's going to be huge every time you see that happen, and sometimes it's better just to waste it if you are a goalie there too. So I see Yeesh, Treddy, and Leo Leon doing the best that they can, but they aren't going to hold on too much as we do see the KO come out, and a great pass from Snake to Lumos.
I love that so much. When you're the goalie and you see the core flip go out, you are expecting the core flip to come at you at the highest speeds, but you don't expect the pass over to Lumos, the cross shot to the other side of the goal. Gamers Unite now find themselves 1 goal away from tying the series up. They have lost a member, but they have gained a goal barrier down. So, Lumos in a lot of trouble. The double team of Leolion and Treddy. It is just Slop on the field. 1 goal barrier down, and there goes the second. Snake is back. Can they stem the bleeding?
Oh, Snake was trying to do all they could with their flurry, but it's not enough to delay the inevitable, especially because they were down by a member before Snake even got there, down by 2 goal barriers, and they could not recover from there. So yet again, we go to goal number 3, goal number 5, technically, for both of these sides in set number 2, and this might give us every single goal possible in this matchup, depending on how things continue this way.
I mean, I would love to see it. You can tell both these teams playing super hard right now, and that is a quick one. Snake is just going to slither, perhaps, the core right past Yeesh. Gamers Unite tie us up going into set number 3.
Nice to see it tied up, but I'm sure, Egoist available after having Fire Up available before. Of course people are going to be going for that, for even more speed at max energy and more restored energy. I mean, who isn't going to take Egoist? Maybe a Catalyst in there. I don't think that's going to be as useful, but the Orb Dancer for Dubu does get some more speed boost there as well. That's going to be a decent pickup, but you see everyone else going for Egoist. I feel like that Orb Dancer is just kind of a meme pick.
I mean, maybe a little bit. It technically is pretty useful for when you're in a goalie and you have some orbs to yourself, but this is going to be a game, Vodible.
All the
we
speed.
Already have everyone has Fire Up. Almost everybody has more energy, has more speed. That energy is building up insanely fast. Core flips already available from Slop and Snake.
Wow, and there goes the goal so quickly, and we're going to see this matchup just speed up so much faster because of the speed that we get to see between these two teams, based on all the energy expended, based on the Egoist as well. And you can see that Slop, actually, now that I mentioned that, Slop did have one of the orb abilities before, or Awakenings, so that was a huge denial from Yeesh, so that Slop did not extend their ability usage for that.
I am just at a loss for words almost, just watching these players zip and zop around the field just so fast all the time with the Egoist Fire Up combo. There's it feels like they're spending more time at double speed than they are at normal speed, as now finally there's a little bit of time to breathe here as a couple members of Gamers Unite got KO'd. But yes, huge play from Lumost, takes down the second goal barrier, and Gamers Unite with an opportunity to go up 2-0 if they can get past Yeesh.
That'd be huge if they can do that too, especially with how close these sets have been up to this point. But that Awakening draft with Egoist on Infinite was a huge pickup for everyone. As I mentioned before, that Speed Boost Orb Awakening that Yeesh was able to pick up was huge of a denial against Slop. But I mean, him getting Egoist still helps out a ton as well. So Awakening's draft pretty even between these two teams. The strike shot missing for Slop, and Lumost isn't able to deny access to that gold barrier. So now it's even between both these teams. Comes down to those KOs, and Snake gets one. Yeesh over the Treddy. They're trying to get it away, and a great pass, but it was a bit off the mark for Snake.
It also has to be noted. Oh my gosh. How does that even happen? You pretty much just shot the core straight at Yeesh's face, and you weren't able to stop it in time.
Too fast, too furious is what we are witnessing here with the core.
Yeah.
Can't be stopped by either team. You just saw 2 core flips already used by Lumost and Snake. Got a bit of a speed boost, but didn't really do too much after that. And speaking of speed boost, we see so much speed because it gets boosted even more so. That speed boost in the center. Look at all the core flips that are coming out from the side of Gamers Unite. They're getting all the KOs, and Lumost with the ace, and that's going to be a goal. 3-0. And this is how the scaling happens with these new Awakenings that are based on the energy.
That is I mean, this is the first time I've seen a game scale like this. It is mind-blowing to see these players scale. And now we have a heavy impact Infinite, so these players could potentially be hitting even harder. There's also Monumentalist available if the Dubu wants to go for that for those Tofu Fortresses. Instead, you go for the Missile Propulsion. I also see the Rapid Fire, which could be useful for the Juliets in particular. Kai is going to pick that one up. And yeah, 3 members on the field, including both Juliets, go for the heavy impact. Sense. Leo, Leon, and Snake are going to be hitting hard and running fast.
All the KOs that'll be coming out here too, and the extra special is huge for IME because they're able to use their turret at the beginning of every single round after a goal is scored. So that'll be interesting to see how effective it is. Their turrets haven't been too effective, maybe just doing some extra damage, and as you saw that, well, KO goes off the side, Treddy having to survive themselves, and Yeesh really can't do much. And speaking of can't do much, Leo Leon, usually absent now because they're getting KO'd off the side so often.
Yeah, having a little bit of trouble staying alive, but I guess it can be said for just about anyone on the field. As soon as Leon comes back, Treddy is quick to follow. A constant power play opportunity for 2MB. Yeesh under a lot of pressure, trying to keep it clear. You see Slop playing forward, playing at the midfield, trying to keep the pressure on the 2MB as they come back. Yeesh is staggered. Yeesh is down. You have to play goalie here if you're Leon and Treddy. You have to try and figure out how to take down Snake, who is staggered, and the knockback comes through. Drakkar is now going to give a potential opening, but no, Lumost finds the angle, and just as it looks like 2MB might be able to get back into that round, they find a way to finish the job.
Leo Leon is long gone, and not much he can really do to bring this team back from the brink. They were looking so well at the start of this series, but then after it scaled the other direction, there wasn't much that they could do. All the core flips, all the speed, and you see the energy already for the other side. They're just wasting their core flips because they don't need to do anything. They don't even need to think. We have the blink, and Leo Leon responds for the save somehow. Gets that one away, and Snake just being a nuisance on the red half of the field, and the turret just getting the goal there just by process of elimination.
All of a sudden, Vodible, our first 2 sets were so long and so slow, but with the Egoist Infinite, everything changed and things have been moving at a breakneck pace ever since. Gamers Unite now with an opportunity to end this match and go to the grand finals with 1 more goal. 2MB has to get 3 goals in a row if they want to keep things going into a set number 5. They have to be perfect from this point forward.
Oof. This is a rough spot to be in for 2MB, and yeah, I mean they fought hard to make it all the way here to these semifinals. Depending on the tiebreakers and the matches that they had during the Swiss stage, determined by Start. Because again, we don't do anything about that; it's all handled by Start. So if they have any complaints about that, well, we'll be doing a double elimination bracket for the next one. I'll announce that later on, but a little sneak peek.
Leaks?
As we have 10 seconds left before OT here. Oh, there goes both goal bearers from Lumost. doing the most for their team, and Slop just looking to goalie goal for the victory. Can they get it? Does get denied. Does get the KO, though, with the Giga Blast, and it's just inevitability, it feels like, for this goal to go through. And there it goes.
Yep, the turret finishes the job. Lumost really just finding the angle, being surgical with these shots and with these turrets at the end of the set. And Gamers Unite are going to move on to the grand finals of Vodible Primetime Tuesday number 5. What a well-played match from them. Seeing the, I mean, everyone saw those awakenings at the start, and then at the end of round 2, we're like, this is going to be a crazy, crazy game. And I think Gamers Unite were just better equipped to play around the insane speed and power that came with that Egoist Fire-Up combo.
Wow, look at the KOs that we have across the board. Oh my goodness.
Nuts.
Not much either team could really do to stay alive, but Leon, this is the lowest amount of KOs I have seen from them playing at Juliet in such a long time, because they kept getting targeted, they kept getting KO'd, and look at the goal differential that you see on the other end too. We are only able to see 5 goals from the blue team, and that was them winning one set and getting to that second set almost a goal 5 situation. They had not scored since then. It was 2 3-0 sweeps in the last 2 sets for the red team, or excuse me, for the blue team, for Gamers Unite, and crazy to see how that was going. The teams are switched there, but it's correct on our overlay, just so you know. Either way, great series that was. Great matchup between those two teams, and that just goes to show how maybe OP the new Awakenings are if you can get them on Infinite. Because if they're on Infinite and everyone takes some Fire Up and then the Egoist there's not much you can do except pray that you have a better draft to start it off and scale that way. And we saw that with Aimee. We saw that with the Juliet, and then with Kai too, because they were able to do so much for their team. Nothing the other team could do afterwards. So hopefully we see Slop saying no Fire Up start, please, and maybe we'll see that in the next one. But Dividing, any final words from you? Thank you for joining us for this broadcast. And hey, I mean, we got a quick matchup at the end of it there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a ton of fun to be a part of it. I have to give a shout out to Snake for that last game, who went up playing Juliet in Juliolion, who has made quite a name for himself on this brawler. Rightfully so. Incredibly well done. But frankly, was able to play around the speed better in that matchup. And you saw had, I want to say, like 8 KOs in that matchup. I want to say it was an insane amount of value. It's like 40,000 damage. It was crazy. So shout out to Snake. I think a real breakout game for this brawler player, and is now going to result in a berth in the grand finals.
Well, we're going to be taking a real quick break, and then after that, we'll be getting into those East Grand Finals. Trio Abusers versus Gamers Unite. We'll be back in just a bit.